All right, how I see this upcoming 2026 class right now, I think it's top heavy at the moment. I struggled rounding out my top 50 that drops on CBS Sports tomorrow, Thursday, but I did not struggle placing some of these guys. Some of these guys, I watched their tape and I was like, yeah, that guy's just special. 5 guys that have his blue chip prospects at this point in time. And I'm being a little generous maybe for one of these guys, but the rest, not being generous. First one's Peter Woods, the Clemson defensive tackle. If you've seen clips of this guy or watched his tape, he is a special mover for 6'3", 315. So much so that he played off the edge a quarter of his snaps last year. The guy was playing defensive end for Clemson. Now, I hate watching Clemson defensive linemen. Dabo, what he does to their defensive linemen there, I think is criminal. They just don't play enough. This guy is unbelievable, and he played 395 snaps last year. Wasn't hurt, wasn't banged up. Just that's their rotation. I not going to criticize, obviously, guys' national championship to his name, but I feel like they have not developed defensive line talent the way they should have since, obviously, it was that 2019 draft, the Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Farrell, who was the highest draft of them all somehow. But Peter Woods will be a top 5 pick. Top 10 pick at worst. I mean, if he has Jalen Carter-esque off field, he's still a top 10 pick. That's like the caliber of DT we're talking about here. Guy is just built like a brick shithouse, and whether it's run game, pass game, he is the impact down in, down out. Special sort of prospect. Next one, Caleb Downs, Ohio State safety. Formerly of Alabama, it's where he started his career. Freshman starter for Nick Saban at safety. Obviously, freshman DB starter for Nick Saban. Your ears are going to perk up. And Caleb Downs, I mean, he's that guy. He is kind of that know it when you see it level of athleticism. I have likened it to, the old Madden games, like Madden 2003, before they changed the Madden engine to this dumb action-based engine that they have now, where it's like, don't even get me started. But when it used to just be like the guys could turn correctly, how people actually turn in real life, but they kind of all moved like high-end athletes. Like no one had stiffness. They could all like really were fluid with how they turned, and no one lost speed when they cut. That's how Caleb Downs moves. He moves like a safety in Madden 2003, where he's running one way and then he has to adjust. And it looks like he hasn't even turned, hasn't even cut. The guy doesn't lose speed. He is just that caliber of athlete that's perfect at safety position specifically, where you're always having to manipulate space. You're always having to go from 10 yards away to 0 yards away as quickly as possible without, being caught out of position while being able to adjust to a moving target. He's got that, and his instincts are great. There's really no holes to his game. He's not Kyle Hamilton. He's not a true physical freak. Like, he's not going to break 4.4 in the 40. He's only 6 foot 205. But everything else about this guy's game, massive fan of. He's a blue chip safety prospect. Next one on this list, Utah offensive tackle Spencer Fano, with the caveat that this is at guard. He's a blue chip guard prospect because 32 3/8, I believe, is what his arms measured in at last spring. And I know you're probably just sick and tired of arm length conversation. I don't love it either. But this guy's going to be in the Will Campbell bucket of smaller arms than normal. But if you put this guy at guard, he had the best run blocking tape I've seen as a sophomore offensive lineman in college football since Penei Sewell. That's the caliber of how good his tape was already as a true sophomore, his first year as starter. The guy is high-end agility, high-end explosiveness. He's slighter framed, obviously 6'5", 302, zone fit, outside zone. This guy is going to be special in that sort of scheme. I mean, with the way guards going in the NFL, how much they're getting paid, I'd be happy as heck to just take him and say I got a Pro Bowl to All-Pro caliber guard. But I could see playing him a tackle as well. Either way, blue chip sort of prospect in my mind. Next one up, and this is the one that I think I was a little generous to, but I just love the way the guy moves. But you'll see why I was being a little generous after I go through his profile. Jermod McCoy, Cornerback, Tennessee, 6', 309, long arms, started his career at Oregon State, 1 year there, transferred to Tennessee last season, 4 picks, 6 pass breakups, 50% completion percentage allowed. What I love about him, not only is he physical, as you see there, laying a boom on tape against Alabama, he's so smooth. I mean, this is one of the best functional athletes I've seen since like Derek Stingley coming out at corner, where there's just a gracefulness and an ease to the way he moves. He attacks the ball well in the air, obviously the 4 picks. But why I say I'm being generous here is he tore his ACL in January. He not playing, not during football season. It was in off-season workouts. Not good, obviously. No timeline yet as to when for sure he's going to be coming back. But I put him in the Antonio Cromartie level. If you'll remember, Antonio Cromartie at Florida State missed his last year with torn ACL. Still got drafted in the first round. I put him at that level of prospect where it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to play down. You run at your pro day and do workouts there. That's all I need to know, and I'll draft you in the first round. That's how good of a prospect he is already. And the last one, had to save the best for last. Jeremiyah Love, Notre Dame running back. Ashton Genty, elite prospect. Jeremiyah Love, not quite to that level yet in my eyes, but he's a different cat, man. 6', 214, average 6.9 yards per attempt, 17 touchdowns on 162 carries. Means over 10% of his carries ended in the end zone because, well, he is electric. He had a bag drill. He had a running back bag drill this fall camp go viral because of just his footwork is unbelievable for a back that's not, a back who's 5'6" is going to have good footwork. He is going to be able to cut and be agile in a way that's, unique to running backs who are 5'6" just because of low center of gravity. Backs that are 6 foot do not move like Jeremiyah Love does. With long arms, he's got a good stiff arm. He can shake in the hole, and then he's got real deal track speed. He had that 98-yarder against Indiana in the playoffs. He had that ridiculous run against Penn State in the playoffs where he, on a bum ankle, broke through, or it was a bum knee, broke through like 3 different tackles on the way to the end zone. He is going to be a first-round running back. Just depends on how high at this point. Those are your blue chippers. Peter Woods, DT, Clemson, Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State, Spencer Fano, O-line, Utah, Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee, and Jeremiyah Love, running back, Notre Dame. I got 4 more guys that I think are close. I think we could be talking about this point in time next April as blue chip prospects. They are Connor Lew, center, Auburn. Some of the most complete tape I've seen from a sophomore center that I can remember. He looks, I haven't actually done enough background information on him. He looks like the kind of guy, the offensive line prospect who's like dad was an offensive lineman somewhere. That's what this guy's tape looks like. He's so polished. And unlike, Tyler Linderbaum, who had really good sophomore tape, this guy's already play strength is NFL caliber. You don't need much more for Connor Lew to be an NFL center, but obviously we're going to see what his next step is. He reminds me a lot play style wise, like a Frank Ragnow, where it's not massive, but man, he's strong for his size. Very excited to see how he continues to develop. I think we could be talking about him as a top 20 pick when it's all said and done at the center position. Keldric Faulk, his teammate at Auburn there, also very close just because he is a specimen. 6'6", 290, edge rusher, 45 pressures last year as a sophomore, basically just not knowing what the heck he was doing out there. It reminds me so much of Tyree Wilson, but I think already figured it out in a way Tyree Wilson didn't until like his redshirt senior year. So Keldric Faulk, not a lot in the way of technique, but a lot of effort in freakish athletic tools. I'll throw Anthony Hill, the Texas linebacker, in there. We'll get some of the deep position groups in the next segment, but linebacker is one of them. He's at the top of it for me. He had 6'3", 237. I just love the way he moves. I keep talking about the way these guys move, and it's so important on the defense side of the ball specifically, is fluidity. When I watch Anthony Hill run in space, it's just like an athlete's moves. It's the kind of athlete that if you wanted to play him at defensive end, he could. If you wanted to play him at tight end, he could. He had a pick 6 early on in the season where, he looked like a running back after the catch. Those are the guys I love. And that, if I'm drafting highly, I want to see that from. Last year, 4 forced fumbles as well, and he goes for it. He goes for rips. He goes for the peanut punch. He is attempting to force fumbles, Derek Johnson-esque. I think Derek Johnson forced like double-digit fumbles his last year at Texas. This guy, he could be a first-round pick like Derek Johnson. The last one, Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end. Another good tight end class. I wonder if that's going to be like a thing now. That we're just tight end classes are going to start stacking. We're going to see an influx of talent. But Kenyon Sadiq, man, what an athlete. 6'3", 245, Oregon tight end, sat behind Terrence Ferguson, kind of, but he still played a lot because dude, look at how diced up he is for 245 pounds. The guy is a special mover. 25 catches, 307 yards last year. On those 25 catches, he broke 10 tackles after the catch. I can't wait to see what he does in a full-time role. And even like being undersized, he blocks like an animal. I have no questions about what he's going to do as a run blocker in the NFL. Get ready for him to be in the first-round conversation next spring.